Today I'm here with Richard Henderson, who works in our art department, and he's one of our actors.
Yes, I'm the art department head for Open Heart Productions, and they get me to try to act from time to time. I'm not as good as most of the guys are at it, but I just do what they tell me.
So can you tell me like a little bit more about yourself
Well,
and what you do?
I do a lot of mechanic work and machine work, so I build things for a living, and I like to make props and costumes and stuff. And Mitch had met me through his show Rednecks for Hire, and was getting ready to do the Bogman and asked me to make some props. And then at the last minute, we had to throw together a costume, and then he had an actor backed out, so he asked me to act and play the character Clark, which is basically what we've been doing.
So how do you get like ready for one of your roles that you've played?
I basically just try to imagine myself as the character. Like I don't like necessarily like try to memorize every word for word thing, which they say don't do that. They just want to get basically the character, how the character would react in a situation and stuff like that. So you just kind of read over the material, see what the situation is and how that character would react in that situation.
Okay, so how did you join Open Heart Productions? By just meeting Mitch?
Yeah, he came out to film an episode of his Rednecks for Hire show, and I just showed him some of the costume and stuff I had done, and he reached out later and asked me to help him with the Bogman. And then it turns out that this property out here with the woods was perfect for us to film a monster movie in, because it looks very similar to like the mountains in Arkansas.
So did you make all of the like costumes and stuff?
No, I mean there's some bought pieces, and then like for the Bogman, he had a ghillie suit, and like there was a Bigfoot costume for a short guy that we had to make fit a 6'9" guy. So we were stitching things together and cobbling stuff together for that. And then like for Sea of Madness, it was some fishy and mermaid things, and we just kind of modified some of that. And then for the Rake, it was mostly just body paint and a mask, and I did some modifications on the mask and got the claws for the actor, and that was pretty much it.
So what's like the hardest prop you've like ever made?
The hardest thing to make, not necessarily hard, but probably the most challenging was like making the mermaid breast covers, because I basically just had to come up with something from scratch and mold it out of clay, and then make a mold for that, and then do latex copies of that over and over again, so they'd had multiple applications.
So have you acted like anywhere else?
Yes, I've done The Science of Murder. That was actually directed by Benjamin Gross, our Dr. Benjamin Martin for Open Heart Productions. And I was in a play called Wait Until Dark at the Strauss Theater.
Okay, so how long do you think like it takes you to make certain props?
Well, when I have to mold something from scratch, it usually takes me about 2 weeks, just because of the fact of how long it takes the materials to cure and everything.
So that big tree that like was supposed to be one of the props, I remember seeing it one day. Did you make that?
Yes, that was basically cardboard wrapped around some fencing for like chicken wire, and then spray foam, and then paint. Now, actually, the kids helped me paint that.
Okay, so how did you feel about like the Sea of Madness set?
Oh, it was a great, terrible experience, because the weather and everything was terrible, and like just the long, late night hours and everything like that. But it was so fun, and just to be able to basically have this battleship as our playground to do everything was an awesome experience.
How many days did y'all get to stay on that ship?
I believe we stayed on there 5. The first session that we were doing the filming and stuff, and then we went there for an additional couple of days after that.
Was it like cold or like raining or anything?
It was very cold and rainy the first week that we were there. It was much better the second time. I felt bad for some of the actors, especially the mermaids out there on the deck of that ship, and the cold and everything, because it's pretty blistering.
So you remember the part like in the movie wherever they had to like go in the water and stuff? So did they actually get on a boat in the water? Like the little like safety boat things?
No, there were some camera tricks with that one, but
Oh.
we set up some pretty neat stuff on that with some like air mattresses and the raft sitting on that next to the river, so it looked like it was in the water.
So how did y'all even find that boat?
Oh, Mitch ordered that thing.
Ordered
Oh, you talking about the battleship?
the battleship?
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the USS Kidd. I mean, people go there for field trips. It's a museum down there in Baton Rouge. I remember being in ROTC in high school, and we went on a field trip down there to that thing.
Wait, so where'd y'all sleep at?
They had a place inside the museum that was called the War Room that they let us. Basically, we rented that out for the week that we were filming there.
So like, are they like little bunk beds and stuff?
Well, in the War Room, we had air mattresses and stuff like that. But then on the ship, they had the bunks that the sailors would have actually slept on back then. As a matter of fact, a couple of nights I caught me a couple of naps there. It's probably the best sleep I had that whole trip.
So, what about the Bigfoot, or not Bigfoot, the Bogman sets and stuff for the very first movie?
We basically did that on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So it was kind of like people showed up here on the weekend. They'd be here first thing in the morning, and we'd do filming, and then it was maybe a couple of months worth of weekends that we spent doing that one. So it was basically everybody going back to their house.
Was Christian the first big Bogman?
Christian was cast as the Bogman, but the first night of shooting, Christian wasn't able to make it, so we actually got Kyle Simpson in the Bogman suit for the very first Bogman scenes that we shot.
So did y'all film any of that here?
Yes, most of that was filmed here, and then we had a ranch, Mr. Burrell's Ranch over in Swartz, Louisiana, that we did a lot of the exterior shots of like the barn and all that stuff there.
So what like movie are you excited to start doing?
I'm excited for the next one that's coming up, the rules that apply to abduction, because this is going to be aliens.
Oh my
this
gosh, I
time.
get to be the alien. I get to be in like the little suit. Because I texted Mitch and I asked him at first if I could be the little alien, and he said, well, you're not like 4'10", so no. And originally I think Carter was supposed to be the alien and like some other kids. But then my dad's like, so Mitch wants you to be the alien. Like,
So you're just going to be a tall alien.
yeah, I think it's going to be me, James, and Harrison.
Okay.
And the suits and stuff actually look really cool. But, are we filming any of that here?
Yes, we're actually going to do a lot of that here. There's a couple of different locations we're going to be filming, but
So when we go to Arizona, what are we filming there?
that's going to be the chupacabra.
Oh, so like, ain't it like that dog?
I don't know. I've never met one, but from the lore and everything I've seen, some of them look like skinless dogs, and the name actually translates the goat sucker. So apparently they go out and kill goats. And I have friends that are from Puerto Rico that say they also have chupacabra legends, and they're more like a vampire humanoid type thing.
So in our movie, are we going to make it a dog?
No, I think it's going to be maybe similar to what dog size, but probably more like a gremlin type creature or something like that.
Oh, like a little gremlin?
Yeah, maybe think of like a hairless gremlin, snarly kind of. Think of a chihuahua on steroids.
Okay. That's going to look, I don't know. Are we going to have somebody like play the chupacabra?
No, I think we're going to have like groups of them that are going to be like small. We've got some plans for like some little animatronic kind of things going on and some.
Okay. Well, I think that'll be it for today,
Okay.
or for this interview. Thank you for letting me interview you.
Thank you for coming out.
You're welcome. And you can go watch my stuff on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Check her out.